Okay, here's my presentation. Vehicle horsepower modification. So, what is horsepower and why we need this? Why do we need horsepower? Yes, that's right. We need to be faster and more powerful. The higher the horsepower, the better of the engine. It also means the engine's work efficiency is higher. But is horsepower just a symbol of speed? Definitely not. For example, we all know the transport truck have a greater horsepower and a greater torque than the like normal vehicles that we drive daily, but they are not fast just because they need to carry heavier stuff, need to transport. So when someone say horsepower is synonymous with speed, you can say just get the fuck off. Okay, let's see these two photos right here. It's tuned by the way muscles, and there was the one with the Lamborghini with the 652 horsepower with the 700 newton meter for the torque, and the other one is definitely a very high, the twin turbo with a thousand the crazy horsepower. I don't know what's that number coming from, but it's definitely on the dyno machine is come from 1,146 horsepower and way more crazy than on the. I think that was one time he was driving on this vehicle on the drag racing. He beat the ass. He was like goddamn quick. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, turbocharged advantage and exterior. Let's talk about further power modification. Suppose a customer drive a Supra. Would you recommend him to install a supercharger or a turbocharger? Definitely turbo, right? Because turbo has less engine space for installation, and they don't need a lot of the engine displacement. Like you can say like 2.0 T to 3.0 is like a very good engine to install the turbo in that. In addition, the radiator with the alcohol injection will make the power even higher. So not only do you need to replace a turbo, you also need to replace its radiator, and you need to change the intake. All the stuffs you have to change. The radiator currently on the market include the air-to-air, water cooling, and even alcohol injection system infused with the ordinary speed. It's very good. In addition, when we install the turbine, we also need to download the ECU. It's very important stuff. The ECU of the ordinary stock system doesn't match the aftermarket system you put. Therefore, a programmer must be required to readjust the ECU. For example, adjust the ignition time, in engine fuel injection amounts, for the spark plug, and whatever and other stuffs. And also, when you want to modify the power, you are actually already asking your bank for a loan. Replacing the turbine is only superficial. In fact, you may need to replace all the engine components. Maybe change the exhaust because you need more louder. Like you can see right here is looks like a straight pipe. You change the turbo right here and see the intake, the big intake right here. The most common use on the performance vehicle. And for talk about after talking about the disadvantage of the turbocharging, the first is that one of the biggest problem we usually have is a turbo lag. This measure can be controlled by adjusting the ignition time of the ECU, so you can adjust the time a little earlier. In addition, turbocharger requires the vehicle's own oil to lubricate. So usual vehicle use 300V. Right here is a motor, a very good motor oil, and also you can use the 8100 motor oil as well. These are usually very expensive. In addition, after you modify the turbocharge, you can add if you add the 300V oil in winter, its oil velocity can cause your vehicle to shut at a low speed at engine operation temperature. So when your engine engine is very cool right now, and outside temperature is very low, so your car will be like very like shallow sometimes, like the RPM will going down and going up very crazy. You are that kind of cause a misfire sometimes. I don't know what that crazy. Okay, this is my favorite part, supercharge. In fact, from everyone's point of view, the first thing that comes into contact with the supercharger is the sound. Is very nice. This sound is caused by the compressed air producing by the twin screw supercharger. A supercharger produces more horsepower at a low speed without the life of the turbo. In addition, the maintenance cost of the supercharger will be cheaper than the turbocharger because the supercharger uses its own engine oil for lubricant instead of car oil. So this engine right here is a twin turbo with sorry, not twin turbo, the twin screw drive. It's a Hellcat engine. Okay, all the Hellcat engine is a twin screw drive, twin screw. And there are different type of supercharge. The most common is a twin screw, as what I said before. It is stored on the Dodge Hellcat model or the series model. The basic horsepower is generally above like 600 horsepower, as much more higher, crazy like 1,000. I don't know, like the T-Rex, the Hellfant. I know there was an engine on the American, it's sold by 2021, something like that, close to that. But right now it's sold out, all sold out. Also, root type superchargers are not longer seen in the early days, like 17th century, like a 1990, kind of like 7 or 80. This type of supercharger was driven by a large displaced American car on the road. So people will install this supercharger on the outside of their hood, suck in more air. At this time, American car basically had a display over like a 7 like a 720 liter or like 8 liter higher. Since the engine is all V8 and since the engine has high requirements on the engine, it is often seen that the vehicle has low speed or unstable speed at low speed. So if you want to have a supercharge or you want that sound, a central figure right here is a good choice. It also requires a less space and increase a little bit more horsepower. Increase a little bit more horsepower means that you install this central figure supercharge on a vehicle with a low displacement. But your vehicle engine cannot have enough power to turn the twin screw supercharger. It can give you at least a half more horsepower. So what does that mean? Because this is my vehicle, okay, and it's a 3.6 liter. It's not enough to put the it has enough space to put a twin screwdriver in there, but the leader is not a lot. So I can put that, but you have to lose a lot of horsepower. So I just put this brand of the central figure supercharger, the ripped. You put it there, and it doesn't have a lot of space, and looks like looks like a turbocharger. Yeah, exactly. It looks like a turbocharger. Yeah, it has a little bit the turbocharger lag, but it has more speed. You can give you a higher horsepower than the twin screw. Okay, that's all. That's everything. Thank you.